Hello learners, welcome to TryRide. Today we will learn about the event handling. There are many events and there are many ways to handle them. So what is event handling in GUI? We have studied that GUI stands for graphical user interface. Now event, an action that triggers the user's interactions like typing, moving, closing, etc. These are all the events. And event handling is a mechanical mechanism that helps us to detect and respond to the users generate due to this event provided. Now, here are a very example there. We can see very examples in our real life also. And following to these common actions, there are click a button and action event triggered. Now, when we click a button, an action event is triggered, and your code also responds according to that only. Now, Java event integration model. Java event delegation model. Yeah, Java uses delegation event model. Uh, there are three key components here. The first component is event source GUI component that generates event. This is the GUI event that generates component like J button. When we click the button, various events are generated or activated. Now event object contains event data like action event. So there are objects that contains different data. So this event object also contains the data that activates the event. Yeah. Now when we when the, coming to the event listener, we have a last task called event listener. It is the event. It is interface with model interface with methods to handle the event. The, to handle the event also, we need some interactions between according to what time at what time and what kind of event and with what specific the event should be handled. So for this, we have the interfaces with methods, with handles the event by interacting with each other. Now coming to the action listener, which help us in handling button clicks. Now coming to the example, we have to import this from packages java.swing and import from java.ewt.event package also. Now there is a class button click example. They have which follows the main method line public static void main string args. Now there is a frame which has the name frame equals new frame. We have created a name frame with the help of iframe and the action event example. Now I button also we created I button and button we created with the help of new button with the help of new J button that click me that provide clicks me when so the buttons dot get bounds. We have to specify the bounds. So button dot set bounds 100, 120 and 40. These are all the buttons that are provided by us according to the program. Now coming further, the registering action listener using anonymous class. Now button dot add actions listener. We have to add action. So for this, we will use the method dot add action listener. Within the parentheses, we will be writing new action listener because we are always acting. We are always providing new actions. So this also follows public void, which also follows method public void action performed. Now this event E, this is the object. Event E is the object that is which has been passed by us, and for that IO exception play dot show method dialog. These are all the method dialogs. So method dialog method we will be using, which has the frames and button click, which has the page required for the frame and the button clicks. One button clicks. For coming forward, finally we'll be adding new buttons to it. Frame dot button, frame dot add button. Yeah, when we add the button, we have to set the sizes. Frame dot set size. Yeah, 300 to 250, 300 to 250, 300 comma 250. These are all the sizes that are set by us. Now frame dot set layout. And suppose we don't want any layout to this specific frame, so we'll specify this null. And visibility, we want a visibility for the frame, so frame dot set visible, that has to be specialized as true. This has to be true, so we write as frame dot set visible, and in the parentheses we'll write true. Now say frame dot set default close operations. Now we are using set default close operation for this function method. For the frame to finally we want to exit this program. So for exiting this program, we want to use the ifjframe dot exit on close. Exit on close, we will writing with parenthesis, and finally this program comes to an end. Now there is a mouse listener. There is a mouse listener which handling mouse event for handling mouse event. It uses different parts like JLabels, JPanel, and JButton, etc. Now there are method, there are key methods. So there are various key methods which has to be performed by using this for using these operations. Like mouse click the mouse when we click the mouse is clicked and the mouse is clicked and the mouse entered. We will enter various events with this mouse. So this mouse entered is also a method. The mouse exited, we will exit the program by mouse. So if through the mouse outputs that we will exit the program by this mouse. So we will write mouse exited and mouse pressed. Suppose we will press the mouse, so we will press the method as mouse pressed and mouse release. Mouse release also is a method. Now for the example, we have the package Java imported. We have the various packages. We have to import these packages from import java.swing dot star and import java.ewt.event star. This star comprises of all the packages within this Java string and for all the packages that are present in java.swing and all the packages in java.awt.event and following the various packages. Now there is a class mouse event example and following the public main method line. Now we will from the JFrame, we will from framing a JFrame new frame called frame of the JFrame. JFrame frame equals new frame. Mouse event example. Suppose you want to give it will take all the inputs from the mouse. So mouse event example. Add I label J label for of the label of the J label kind. So following the new J label, hover over the click me, hover over click me. Suppose if you want to click the mouse when you hover over something, then we have the event by event label by this name. And suppose we want no we want to set bounds. We want to set the bounds of this label. So we'll be writing the method as label dot set bounds 50, 80, 230. Suppose we are labeling the bounds only up till this area 50, 80, 30, 230. Now we want to add mouse listener for the to this label form. So we'll writing the method as label dot add mouse listener new mouse adapters, new mouse adapter. All the things will be adapted as the mouse is clicked. So we will be using the method label dot add mouse listener and in the parentheses we write new mouse adapter. And for following that we will be performing different method. So we're writing mouse enter and the mouse event. Here the will mouse event E. This E will have different mouse events. Specify the different mouse events. So finally, suppose you want to set the set text. So label dot set text mouse enter. This enter means this text will be entered set as label to label dot set text. My method this method, and we will perform this mouse enter and public void mouse click. When we click the mouse event E. When we public void mouse click. This is a method public void mouse click mouse event E. Suppose we want to click the mouse. So I want to suppose when mouse is clicked an event is performed. Suppose so this E will have the event and we will label this marks as marks.set label. We will set the label of this mouse. We will set the label that mouse is clicked. So mouse clicked is the text that we will set this label to this mouse clicked. And public void mouse exited. When we are exiting the mouse, we will be writing public void. These are functions public void mouse event E. Suppose we are passing event E as the parameter here and label. So we'll set the text as label dot set text and mouse exited. If you want to exit, we will exit this function as mouse exited. Public voice mouse exited. This is the function and label dot text it as mouse exited. Yeah. Now there is a frame to add all these things into all these labels to the frame. We will be forming frame dot add label frame to frame dot add label. This is a method will be passing to adding a label to this frame. Suppose we have to set the size of this frame, so we'll be using the method as frame dot set size, and um, to 300 200, and suppose to the if you want to know layout of this frame, so we're writing frame dot set layout as none, and for this visibility of this frame we will be writing frame dot set visible true. Now coming to this frame set frame now to coming to this default operations performed by this frame, we will write frame dot set default close operations. If you want to close operations or close finally operations and exit the function, we will writing frame dot set default close operations frame dot exit on close exit when we are where we want to exit and come out of the program. So we'll be writing frame dot exit on close. Finally we are out of the program, and now coming to the key listeners which handling keyboard event, which will handle all the keyboard event like the key methods. They have the key methods as key pressed key. When suppose we are pressing a key, suppose we are pressing a key on the mouse, so the method follows as key pressed, key released when a key is released key. So there is a method key release, and key tab we will tapping various mouse buttons. So there is a method key tab which has the packages as import, which has the packages javax.swing.star. These contain all the packages javax.swing, and import javax.ewt.event.star. This also contains all the packages in javax.ewt or .event. Yeah. Now coming, there is a class. There is a class called key event example. Now public void main. This is the main method having the public void main string regex and having the iframe, jframe, having the jframe as frame. Frame is the name of this jframe, and having new with the help of this new, and for finally we have from this jframe, and we have this event example. For this we have the various example. Now we have jtext field. Now we have jtext field by the name of field, and equals new jtext field. We have the various fields found in this new jtext field. Now ilabel, by the name label, equals new ilabel. Type something. Suppose we have to type something, then this label will be formed as this level will go to the ilabel. Now field dot set bound, if you are setting the bounds to this specified dimensions, so we're writing the field dot set bounds 30 50 200 and 30 30 50 30 50 50 230. We are setting these bounds to this specified areas limits. And label dot set bounds, for set bounds, when we have first we will set the fields to the set bounds, and then we will set the labels to the set bounds. For this also we will perform various tasks as 50 100 250 and 30. Finally, we will be moving forward and watching out the fields.key add listeners. Now there is a key adapter for this. So we will following various operations according to this only. Public void key tab, and the various function as public void. This function will not return any kind of things. So we will write public void key tab and pass the key event. E. This E will contain all the key events. Now this labels dot set text. We will set the text to utype dot e dot keychar. Get e dot keychar. We will get all the characters for providing this text. Now coming to the program, we will be forming the frame to add. We will be adding various fields to these frames. So we will writing the methods as frame dot add and in parenthesis field. Now coming forward, we will writing frame dot add label. We will be adding the various labels to these frames, and we will setting size of these frames. For setting size of this frame, we will writing 300 200. We are setting size. Yeah. Now frame dot set layout. If you want no layout, we will writing set layout as null, and if for the visibility, we will be forming frame dot set visible as true. Now frame dot set default close open operations jframe dot exit on close. For coming out of this close, when we want to close this frame, we will use the method as frame dot set default close operations and jframe dot exit on close. When we have to exit this frame, we will be writing exit on close. Now coming to the practice tasks, we have the various practice tasks also, like text designed to basic login form, or the text designed to various login form, to jtext field or username password. For username and password, we will set the jframe to jtext field as for various username and password. For one j button to login, for there should be a j button, java button to login, and similarly there should be a display or a message when we have pressed the button or something like that. And now coming further, we have read about various topics in here. So we'll be finally following a summary of those whole operations. Now, actioner listener. This actioner, what does it do? It allows for buttons or menu click. This actioner listener, it will be performed when we allows the button or menu click. This mouse listener, when mouse will be clicked. When mouse is all these actions, all the actions to the mouse. And key listener for typing key inputs. Like for typing inputs, we will be using key for so this key listener will perform all this task. Now adapter classes helps override various required methods. Thus adapter classes help override various required methods. Yeah, this comes to the end of the class, and thanks. We'll meet in the next class.